Hi.
Hi, I'm on my phone. I
Carolyn.
can't figure out how to put my face on it. Sorry.
If you swipe on your phone, swipe maybe right or left, which one of those goes to video? Other way.
Did you find Carolyn? Did you get it? Well,
Yes.
I can ask you.
No, I can't. I muted myself. I have a question. I have a walkthrough tomorrow, and we never got the form for the COVID form for a medical employee.
Oh.
It turns out that she's a dietitian that does go into hospitals, the daughter of one of the people that are living in the house. I have the listing. She found out that she has the antibodies, so then they tested her and it's negative. Do you think I even need to worry about the other form, or do the regular form that is nobody has had it? That's a good one, right?
Sally, are you on? Is there a broker on? Lisa.
Sally, are you walking?
Oh, so yeah, this is too late for Sally. I would try to get the other form signed, just because you might as well protect yourself, you know, up to the 9th.
It's not anywhere. Everybody kept saying it was going to be edited, but I don't have it. I can't find it.
I can send it to you.
Okay. So what does it state? Just that I know they're kind of opposed to it because she did test negative, but I kind of felt the same way. I should protect myself, but I can't find the form. So if you can at least,
you know what, all she could do, or you know, you can have her write on it, even, you know, get the regular form, but just have her write on it an initial that she tested negative. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying, yes, I was tested and it was negative. The thing is that so many of those, I mean, maybe I heard today somebody say 50% of them have been, you know, negative, positive, or positive, negative.
Right.
So
it's not even.
As long as she's being honest, there's nothing wrong with that.
But she's not a nurse. She's a dietitian. This is what they keep saying. She's a dietitian. She doesn't handle COVID patients.
Yeah, but she's out in the public. You know, we're all sitting in our houses. The house is closing tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah, this should be a non-issue. They could just sign whatever. They're going to be signing so many documents tomorrow. What's one more?
No, they already signed everything. The COVID is the last form I need to get to them.
Carolyn, I'm going to put my email in the chat. Could you just send me an email so I have your correct email address to send it to?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So Dean's running a little late. Any other waiver problems that we can just say, get it signed, get it signed, get it signed? Anybody else have a closing tomorrow? Woohoo! Brought it over the finish line.
Sergio's doing a thumbs up.
Yay!
Yes, I did.
You have a closing tomorrow, Sergio? Woohoo!
It's either tomorrow or Monday.
Donna's
I had the CO done today.
Ira, you have two?
I had two last week.
Congratulations.
I had one today, one tomorrow.
Who was that? Jenny? Jenny. Elsa, how was Bold today?
Say that again?
How was Bold?
I did not do Bold. I did it once before.
Oh, okay.
I said I don't have a motivation issue. I just have an organization issue.
we are working on Monday morning. Felicia said
that's right. At least got me covered.
2 next week, 2 closings next week. That's awesome.
Congratulations. Donna Nicholas has one Monday, so look at all of this. Everybody's doing a lot of work.
I have one next week.
Fires are out there.
Congratulations. Business. So Dean is coming. He's going to be a little late. It's got to be something we can talk about till he gets here.
Well, I'll talk about the fact that David Axelrad from Real Market Tech came to a house that I'll be listing hopefully next week. And the photos are unbelievable because I wanted the 360-degree photos.
Yeah.
It's very, very nice. He did a beautiful job.
I'm so glad you shared that. He does great work, and I'm glad he showed up. That's awesome, and came and took the photos. That's awesome to hear. Thank you for sharing.
He knew it was a vacant house. He was right on time. It was I'm looking at these photos and wow.
Yeah, he makes it very easy to work with him, and he's doing beautiful work.
Really beautiful. Even the branded website that he produced.
Yep.
We can now
Fantastic.
put into the MLS. Oh,
Yeah. It
Will
makes
he
it-
go
it-
to a house that's not vacant?
you know,
I
I
think he
didn't.
will.
I remember he said that during the last discussion when we were on one of these calls, and he specifically mentioned vacant houses. So I didn't. So I knew I
Yeah.
could call him. I don't know about non-vacant.
I can give you his contact information if you want to reach out to him or email him.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to-
Realmarkettech.com.
Thank
I
you.
want to shout out Donna Nikolic has a closing on Monday. Felicia Goldberg has 2 next week. Maria Barata had one last week and one next week. So everybody's doing a lot of business.
Sally's also on now if we wanted to ask her that question.
Hi, Sally. Can you unmute yourself? We have a waiver question.
Her favorite.
Poor Sally.
It's her
Sally,
favorite
unmute
topic.
yourself. Don't fall off the bridge, please.
Yeah.
I found it. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm outside
Carolyn,
and
we
there
have a
was
broker
glare
on. We have a broker on board.
Hi, Sally. How are you?
I'm good. What's the question?
Good. I have a walkthrough tomorrow morning. One of the daughters that lives there is a dietitian that enters hospitals.
Okay.
She has been tested for the antibodies, and
Right.
then they tested her for COVID and it's negative.
Okay.
They were looking to just sign the original form, not the form that has anything about medical, somebody working there medically. What form should I have?
I mean, technically, because they do work in the medical field, they should sign the healthcare worker one. But certainly they could put a note with it
That's what
detailing
Colin said.
what you just said, you know. But you know, God forbid somehow something happens and they say like, we're suing, and they find out that the person was a healthcare worker and didn't disclose it. That's a bigger problem.
Okay. All right. So Elise, if you send it to me, I'll have them sign that one.
I will. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Sally.
You're welcome.
Oh, Sally, you saved the day. It always sounds so more official coming from the broker.
It looks like Dean is joining us. So
Oh, good.
Dean. Hi, Dean. How are you?
I'm sorry, real quick. Kathy, all of our waivers for Ridgewood are in the loop. You can go into listing documents, buyer documents, rental documents, and all of our waivers are available in there. Like
Yeah,
templates.
Carolyn is with Valley. I think that all the waivers are in the loop, but if not, we'll find her one.
Thanks to the amazing Elise. Thank you, Elise.
So Dean is with us, and I know, Dean, people are waiting here with questions for you. So you have to unmute yourself. No, you're muted, Dean. Up, no, one more time.
Oh, where'd he go?
Where'd he
Yeah,
go?
how's that? How's that?
Good, good.
It's great. I can't find you. Oh, there you are.
Here I
Awesome.
am. Here I am.
I like the jacket.
Oh, thank you.
So, do you want to first update us? Has anything changed before you take questions?
I can't say that anything has changed that's been that dramatic. The government really is just warning business owners that are receiving these PPP loans when they really shouldn't have. They're warning them that there's going to be some sort of a vetting process, but I don't think that's going to apply to most of us on this call. You know, the real estate business has been hurt very badly by the pandemic. I don't think there's anybody that can argue that. So that's really it. So, I mean, there's always updates to this program. It's brand new territory. The forgiveness process, which is going to be the next step after getting the loan, the stress of getting a loan has been one thing, but the stress of not having to pay it back is going to be another thing. And for some business owners, that's going to be very difficult. So it all depends on the business, you know, how many employees they have. For a self-employed realtor, generally with no employees, I think the process is pretty cut and dry. And I'll be happy to, you know, go over that further as the questions come up.
And what if people are getting commission checks during the time that they have this loan. That's okay. I mean, that's a problem with collecting unemployment, but what about the PPP?
Right. Now, the PPP is not, as far as we can tell, it's not designed to be given out to people that are completely out of work. That's not the criteria that was laid out for us. The criteria was, have you been negatively impacted financially by the COVID virus? And if your business has, then you were basically eligible. And you even if you had some liquid funds available, even if you had commissions coming in from past sales, you were still operating, but you certainly are taking a big haircut because of the fact that the pandemic has closed you down dramatically. So to answer your question, I do not believe that's going to be a problem.
That is the good one to take. Just a quick question in the chat size. Has anyone received any funds from PUI? And then there's a PUI and a PUA. I don't know which one they mean, but has anybody gotten any checks yet?
I haven't gotten any checks yet. I've gotten a Bank of America card, debit card. I have received several emails from unemployment, and I have received letters from unemployment, all of which are extremely confusing. They tell you to log into a specific website at myunemploymentnj.gov. And you do that, it tells you to click a specific button, which does not exist. So I went into the PUA category on that site, filled out the information, and it says I am not classified, or I'm not, I forget what the term was that they used. But when I try to call, which is the other option rather than doing it online, I finally got through, and they said I am not qualified to submit my claim by phone. It has to be done online. So here I sit.
Sounds like bureaucracy to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think somebody had posted on Bergen County Partners on the site today, the same, I think everybody's getting the same response. It says your certification cannot be processed online. So, the emails that they send are questions that they supposedly will ask you and how to answer them, but there's nowhere to go from there. So
those are normal unemployment questions though, right? From the regular site when you're doing for normal unemployment? Like
this is post, what I'm talking about is post that. I already did that part, Kristen. Your husband probably did that too. If you filed for regular unemployment benefits, you should have been denied. And then this is what comes after that.
When you got denied, did you get something saying you were denied? Because we're just getting, you have like $0 as the amount.
Okay. I didn't get anything that formally said I was denied. I got an initial email from them, and I was looking at it like, well, what does this mean? And then when I clicked further on the click here icons in the email, I put in my information, and then it says accepted amount 0, which means, in other words, you've been denied.
Yeah, that's what we get. Okay.
Okay. So Dean, can you enlighten anybody with this?
What do you do after that?
I don't know.
Well, you're talking about unemployment now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am not an unemployment expert. I'm telling you that right now. I do not know much about this topic. I do have in front of me a page regarding the PUA, which stands for Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. Okay.
What does it stand for?
Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. So basically, this program is on top of for the self-employed worker. This has been put together, which typically self-employed people are not eligible for unemployment. This PUA has expanded regular unemployment to include self-employed people that are either unemployed fully or partially unemployed for a benefit, for a weekly benefit. And the weekly benefit is based upon normal unemployment rules in the state of New Jersey, but has been, like I said, expanded to self-employed people. But on top of that, the federal government has supplemented this with $600 extra per week.
Yes.
And that is going to extend through the end of July. and then that stops, but the regular unemployment can continue further. So people that are getting the PPP are not supposed to also get unemployment. I'll just make sure everybody's clear about that. It's one or the other. There are plenty of people that are on unemployment that don't want to come off of unemployment because of these expanded benefits, by the way. And that is causing a problem for business owners that receive PPP money, and now they have it and they have nobody to give it to because the people won't come back to work.
Dean, I
All
know
right.
you said you're not an expert on unemployment. I think Patrick Harrington is on the call, and he's been researching it. I don't know if he has any answers on anything.
Yeah, I'm here.
So anyway, if you hear something, chime in. I know you've been researching that as well on unemployment.
Denise
I
has
do
had
have a
her hand
question
up for
for
a
Dean.
while. So Denise, do you want to ask your question?
Yes, thank you. So I received something that says the certification cannot be processed.
Yep.
And so I'm not sure if I have to wait another week and try again, or can I go in Friday or Saturday? Is that for everybody? Or do I have to wait on my specific day to try to certify again?
So if you miss your certain day, there are time slots on Friday and Saturday that are open for people that missed their time slot that you can go back in and apply. It's kind of like a free period time slot that you can go in.
Okay, but it says they couldn't certify me and that I should.
Yeah, I've heard of people having that problem too. You just have to keep trying until it goes through. Unfortunately, this was a program that they scrambled and put together kind of last minute. So there are glitches and kinks that they have to work out. So
If you've been certifying, you're just getting the $0 is the amount that you're certified for. That means you've been denied, and then there's no next step yet for us to do. Do we just wait?
So did you receive a letter with instructions from the state? Yes, so you'll follow those instructions.
Yeah, we've certified 3 weeks in a row now, but every time it certifies, it says, okay, you are certified, but the amount is $0.
We have the same thing. Yeah.
I don't know why that would be the case.
Well, and that's, yeah, I mean, that's where I have 2 master's degrees and I can't figure this out.
Well,
What comes in information science?
the certification you're referring to is a certification that you were unemployed or partially unemployed?
Yes.
It's your certifying your weekly benefits.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's terminology. First, you have to qualify, and that's just so you're in the chain.
Yeah.
Then you have to certify for the money you'll get every week. So I actually picked up the phone today. I figured it was a useless exercise, but I spoke with a human being at the unemployment office today. I was on hold for 90 minutes, but I just put the phone aside, kept it on music hold, literally waited for about 90 minutes, and I spoke with a human being who, basically I've been through all of these steps that everybody else has. I've qualified. They sent me an email confirming I qualified. I got basically a letter saying my weekly benefit rate would be 0. I received the debit card in the mail. What that means is that we will be getting money, but there are so many applicants under PUA that they're doing them in batches. So maybe just Keller Williams agents drew a short straw. I don't know, but this employee of the Department of Labor said, keep the faith. The money is coming. If based upon what I told her, which mirrors what everybody else has been through, we are all basically in the same place. We've all provided and received the same information. We all qualify currently for 0, but that's only because they just basically have not processed us yet. So keep trying to certify every week. I believe we're all entitled to retroactive benefits from what I've read, but basically what everybody is receiving, same information I'm receiving, I've relayed that, and it seems to be part of the process.
Okay.
Well,
I have one quick question though for you. I'm sorry. For you guys that all did receive the notice and Chris, you got through. The notice that I received said I can start claiming my benefits as of April 22nd. I don't know where that date came from because I didn't have earnings before that either. So what does that mean? It's only retroactive back to April 22nd because now I have closings coming up in a week or 2. So does that boot me out of the system again?
I'm not sure how they'll determine that. I don't know.
Yeah, and I had today for the first time I received, because I applied on March 29th, and have certified every single week and keep on seeing that I'm able to get 0. But today, for the first time, I received an email from e-adjudication at the New Jersey Department of Labor, and it directed me to a large form that I have to fill out, which is asking all sorts of crazy questions about my rate of pay, what kind of work I do, the last day I physically worked. I had a closing last week. So when I certified this past week, I actually indicated how much money I earned, but that happened even before this letter. And I sent this whole PDF to Resham because I feel very uncomfortable filling it out without an attorney.
Was that the form under the pandemic unemployment assistance where it was the big blue form?
No.
No, it wasn't a big blue form where it was yes, no.
Nope. This is
amount of money
something
that you made?
Yeah, this is something completely different.
Okay, because I actually filled out a form on there. It's the pandemic unemployment assistance application. Then you go through and you have to answer it. You're the owner, you're not the owner, how much you made in between during that period of time. That's why I don't know how they're going to figure it out for us that are commission based.
I never even got that form though. I was told I was told how to answer those questions, but I haven't even received that form yet. I've received everything else.
It's online. You have to actually go online and get it. Do it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all very, very confusing.
And frustrating.
Mary, you have a question? Do you want to ask?
Yes. Hi. I filed on April 9th, and I just keep getting, a couple of weeks later, I received a letter explaining how I should claim the benefits. But when I go in to check on the status of the application, it still says pending. So it's telling me, giving me instructions, how to answer the questions, such as, were you able and available for work? Were you actively seeking work? Blah, blah, blah. I think there's 6 questions, which is how you would certify for unemployment. But then that's it. So I don't know, does anybody else get that?
Yeah, that's what I've gotten too. There's no,
I've gotten
telling you how to answer the questions, but they're not, giving you the form where the questions are to answer.
Is there a difference, the self-employed versus the independent contractor? Because technically, if Keller Williams is writing the checks, then aren't you guys all independent contractors? Or is it, if you have an LLC, you would be self-employed, correct? Or is there a difference in how you should be filing?
No, it's the same thing.
Okay. Because it asked for the FEIN number and everything when we filled it out. And so we put the Keller Williams one for whatever the parent company that owns Keller Williams is.
And any independent contractor or self-employed individual should really be using their social security number.
Okay. So not put in Keller Williams at all?
No, Keller Williams is not the employer. You're your own self-employed person. You just happen to be being paid by Keller Williams. Okay.
They asked for that though.
Yeah.
They may ask for the 1099, okay, to verify your income. That's different. But you are a self-employed person, and under your own name. You're the applicant, not Keller Williams.
Yeah.
Okay.
So would we put down as our most recent employer name would be our name?
You don't have an employer. Are you talking about for unemployment now?
Yeah.
This is the unemployment, and that's what this
You're
whole
self-employed.
PDF
You're
is
self-employed. You're self-employed.
Right. But if you don't fill everything out, they won't even process the form.
Right.
Well, you put down your own name. I think putting down Keller Williams as your employer is wrong.
Well, that's why I wouldn't fill out this form, because I didn't know where to go. And advising the person who's going to fill out the form, it actually says you might want to seek legal.
Oh, that's fine. Wait, does
Yeah,
that mean
we don't want to go to jail?
No. You don't want to pay a lawyer, $1,000 to do it either.
No way.
I think if we follow the guidelines that Resham had sent us back in the end of March, where she told us exactly how, I think just as you would, or just as you did in the regular unemployment form before the PUA thing came out, I think we need to answer the questions exactly the same. Like Dean is saying, it's us with our social security number, we're the name of the business, we're the sole proprietor, so on and so forth. It's only you.
But it won't let you go back and change it because we filled the form out mid-March, I think March 29th, right when that email came out. And we filed it with the Keller Williams information because that's when we checked. And that's what we were told to do, was put in the Keller Williams information and then as an independent contractor. But so, and now it doesn't allow you to go back in and change that because it's a claim that's currently being processed.
I believe those instructions were from Patrick, so.
I got those same instructions. I think I got them from Joan. He gave me the FEIN number.
Yeah, we checked on that. That's why I remember doing it. We had to text, I think Mike Madigan we texted with and got the FEIN number.
Yeah.
But did that change?
And then that did change actually, because that was originally what we thought was the right way to do it. Then they changed it to have, instead of putting the market center as your employer, put in the FEIN of the market center, put your first and last name as your employer.
Okay,
So
so maybe that's the holdup for a bunch of us.
It could be, but if you're, so you said you're.
I put Keller Williams.
Yeah, I did too.
So Patrick, I'm certifying every week. It's just the $0. But when we did it, we filled it out with the Keller Williams information, and then him as my husband as an independent contractor working for Keller Williams.
Kristen, I did the way that Patrick is just saying with my own name, my own social security number, and I'm in the same page as you are, like 0 every week. So I don't think that has, I did this the second way with my name and my social, and I'm in the same stage that you are right now.
Okay.
All right, do you have any questions for Dean? I felt like we're talking about filling out
I
forms.
do.
I'm not sure he's going to know that. Those
I
answers.
have a question for Dean and Patrick, please.
I do too.
Hi, that's why I joined this meeting. Dean, I'm Carolyn, thank you.
Hi.
I know in the past you said to either apply for PUA or unemployment. So what is your thoughts on that today? That's my first part. And my second part is, and I know everybody's asking this, we're getting paid for business from the past. We're not getting paid for anything from the point on when the pandemic hit. So are we going to be penalized for getting paid for past business?
You're talking about unemployment?
Well, first I want to know, should I just go and try for the PUA rather than unemployment? Because it seems that this is an exercise.
The PUA and unemployment are the same thing. The PUA is an expanded version of unemployment that is for the self-employed. It's allowing self-employed people to tap into the unemployment system. That's what PUA is for. So unemployment and PUA are the same thing as far as you're concerned.
Oh, because my form does not say PUA. It says unemployment insurance instructions.
That's PUA is just the name of the CARES Act expansion for self-employed people.
Okay, so just continue with what I'm doing then.
Yes, yes.
And the second part, which I guess it's Patrick who we would need to ask, what happens if we're getting paid for previous business?
What happens if you're getting paid for previous business? I don't know, but when you do have closings, when you certify your weekly benefits, any income you have, you're going to report it, and it's going to be based on when you get paid from a closing, not when you perform the work. So if you wrote a contract or did a virtual showing or a one-on-one showing or something of that nature, that's not what they're considering working. Getting actually paid for a closing is the date when you're going to report that income having come in when you certify.
Okay, my closing tomorrow has been worked on since last August, so I would be basically penalized for a deal that I've been working on for a long time, I guess. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, somebody else had a question?
I did. I'm just really confused, but maybe you answered it. I have that blue form, the same as Carolyn. And I was told to wait till I get something from PUA, but now you're saying PUA is the same. So should I just keep trying on this blue form when they tell you the last 4 digits of your social, and just keep applying, I guess?
You got to keep trying. You got to keep trying.
The only thing I got was on that blue form on April 12th. And so I've been sitting waiting for something in the mail from PUA, and I never received anything. So should I just apply again through this regular unemployment, this blue form?
I don't know the answer to that question. Like I said, I'm not
Right.
really an
Maybe
expert in this
Patrick?
area.
I would just suggest following the instructions on that and trying to certify as following the instructions on that form to certify weekly.
So I'm not going to get anything in snail mail from PUA?
Everything that I've seen, that blue form, and then it looks like people are getting emails too for information on PUA in terms of the 7 questions to answer when you're certifying and additional information.
Okay, thank you.
Patrick, I have I don't know if it's a question, but when I used to file for unemployment, if I had a part-time job and it wasn't full-time, and I would tell them how much I made that week, it's not that it penalizes you, but then it doesn't send you as much, but it doesn't, you have a balance of how much money they're going to send you overall. So it just takes it out more slowly. And so then they're able to pay you longer. And I'm hoping that that's what this will do.
Got it. So were you asking or just informing us? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm kind of both. I don't know. I'm just thinking, could that be possible?
I guess it could be. I mean, if you have other sources, any other source of income for this PUA, you have to report. You know, if you have
Right.
several part-time jobs or independent contractors. I don't know.
Right.
Unfortunately, I don't work for the Department of Labor, so I don't know exactly the calculations and the numerical breakdowns
There's
of what
a
you
cap.
get.
There's a cap.
There is a cap, yes, but I don't know if you have 2 jobs where two roles where you earn 1099 income. I just don't know how how that's going to affect you personally and individually.
There's a limit because I was making $600 a week at a part-time job, and they said if you're making too much money, you can't apply for unemployment, even though I just lost a 6-figure income about 4 years ago. So, you know, it's just a crash.
Sergio has a question. Go ahead, Sergio.
I was going to ask Dean about EIDL, if he's, has anyone he knows successfully even gotten a response from them? And
EIDL?
Yes. And
oh yeah, I know a lot of people have gotten EIDL money, but it's $1,000 per person. It's not a lot.
Right.
Not a lot.
And is that it? Because
that's right. Up to $10,000.
Okay. So there's no loan after that. It's just that.
No,
grant
there is a very large loan that EIDL through the SBA does have. Okay, I have one particular client that got $500,000, but that's an actual loan with payment terms with collateral. That's a typical loan, almost like a mortgage. Okay, the EIDL that I'm referring to, as far as the pandemic, is the $10,000 EIDL that was advertised very early in the process.
Right, and
they cut it down to $1,000 per person because they were inundated with requests. Now, if somebody is getting the EIDL and the PPP at the same time, both monies come in, that the EIDL is going to be rolled into the PPP money in terms of the forgiveness. In other words, you can't get forgiven for both.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Dean? I see a comment in there that this isn't helping, and you know, I can totally empathize that you guys are frustrated. You know, we're doing the best I can. You know, we're bringing on outside financial people like Dean, who's, you know, taking his own time to try to answer our questions. We have, you know, Patrick reading up on this, but it's all brand new. This is new to everybody, and we're doing the best I can, and frankly more. You know, I talk to other friends that own businesses, and they're not providing any support. They're just telling people, follow directions, go on the site. So we're trying to be helpful, but this is so new. You know, if you guys have an idea, and I'm not being facetious, if there's, you know, a better way we can help, you know, let us know. But it's so new. I don't think there's an expert to go to on how to file for unemployment during a pandemic, you know. So I apologize. You know, I'm not saying it's not frustrating. If I were you, I'd be super frustrated, and nobody likes filling out forms and not getting an answer and not knowing who to go to, but we're doing our best. Anybody have any other questions for Dean or Patrick?
I have a question.
Okay, go.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
No, you go first. You started.
I was just going to ask, so if we filled it out with the Keller Williams information, has anyone successfully gone back in to do a new claim? Because when I tried to do that yesterday, just to see if it was even possible to file a new claim, it didn't let me. It says you already have a claim. So I'm wondering, was anyone able to successfully change it over? Dean, would that be your advice if we put in the Keller Williams stuff instead of the self-employed?
It does not sound right to me to have put in Keller Williams as your employer, because you are self-employed. You do not have an employer. An employer, in the true sense of the word, is somebody that you work for as an employee. They take taxes out of your pay. You do not have an employer.
No, but it gives you the option for independent contractor. When you do that, it has real estate agents. So it did give the option for independent contractor. I used to be a CEO of a company. So we had 1099 independent contractors, which is what, from my understanding, is what my husband gets from Keller Williams is a 1099. So
Right, correct.
So then, is that?
If they're asking the question, who does this self-employed person get paid from?
Yeah.
If that's the question, then Keller Williams would be the answer in your particular case.
Okay.
But how about the business owner that's not a realtor, that has a business and doesn't have one pay? How does that person answer that same question? So that's why I'm thinking it's not right. But listen, like I said, I don't know 100% what to say to you. What you people really need, because 9% of these questions are unemployment related. You need to get somebody that knows about unemployment to advise you, because this is a brand new world. This was rolled out just a few weeks ago. It's fresh territory. It's never happened before, and hopefully never happens again. But
Dean, do you have any idea who that would be? Like, if I wanted to get somebody on this call that's an expert on that, who would that be?
I would say an attorney, Al. I mean, I don't know who in particular, but there's plenty of labor law attorneys out there that you might want to, I don't want to give you more work here, but if you really want to answer that question, get a labor law attorney to come on one of these conversations. And maybe if you don't know one of your attorney friends will know one.
Okay.
Also, there's an option on the website to update your information.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. There's an option on the website to update your information, because I had an issue with that as well, but I went back into it and I updated my information. I moved it from Keller Williams to my name, to independent contractor.
And when did you do that?
Probably like the day after I initially applied.
And
the option is still there. I'm looking at it right now if I can share my screen.
Yeah, or Holly, if you could put the link to it, that would be huge. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you could just share it in the chat, that would be amazing.
One quick question I have for you, Dean, is if the unemployment or the PUA doesn't come to fruition, is there a benefit to doing the PP? Which one is more, is there one that's preferable?
I mean,
in other words?
it all depends on your own personal finances. The PPP is a very attractive program, especially for a self-employed person. The qualifications are fairly easy. You just have to have a Schedule C and be able to fill out an application online and give them what they want. So, the maximum income allowable is $100,000. It could be less if your Schedule C is less than that, but you get X amount of dollars. I mean, somebody making, for example, $75,000. Let me just do the quick math because it's that simple. Divided by 12 times 2.5, that's $15,000 that you get in your bank account. You're going to be not guaranteed, but fairly certain to be forgiven of 75% of that. All right, which means let's just call it $10,000 will be forgiven. You've gotten $10,000 that you don't have to repay. So, look, I think it's a great deal.
Excuse me, Dean?
Yeah.
Do you know how we start that process? Do we have to do it directly through a bank, or is there a website we can hit up for the PPP?
Your bank. Your first line here is to go to your bank that you do business with. Now, this has been problematic for people that do not have a business account. A lot of banks have turned away applicants because they don't have a business account. They have a personal account they've been running their activities through. I'm hearing that that's starting to loosen up, but that could be a potential roadblock. If you want to go to a bank and apply for the PPP and your bank is turning you away, there is an alternative bank. It's called Cross River. Cross River. Okay, just Google it, Cross River PPP, and they are accepting applications. But like I said, your first line of defense should be your own bank, because you may have a relationship with somebody there that you can not only do the application, but call that person for guidance and to update you.
So just guys, just so you know, I'm texting the region to ask if they know of anybody who's an unemployment expert. I'll call my friends that are not my friends, the people that we work with that are attorneys. And is there anyone on here who, you know, is an attorney or has a spouse that's an attorney that knows somebody who's specialized in this area that would come on? If you guys could all ask around, you may know somebody who's an expert. I doubt we can get, you know, unemployment is a bureaucratic government thing. I don't think we can get somebody from the actual unemployment office on. So it's going to have to be, like Dean said, a lawyer or somebody like that.
Al, it's Eileen. I just, I found an unemployment attorney that I've done business with that I'll call tomorrow and see if he'll come on and ask Al.
Okay,
He's
awesome.
right into.
Excuse me, question. With the PPP, did you say that you have to pay that 1/3 of that back?
It's basically 1/4 of it back.
You have to pay 1/4 of it back. Okay.
Okay.
With interest?
Well, it's 1% interest payable over 2 years.
Great.
And that's only under this following circumstance. Let's say a typical realtor who does not have an office that he or she leases. Let's say you have a home office, okay, and you conduct your business through your home office. You don't have an actual rent to pay, even though you may have a home office, but you don't have a lease. The 25% that's not forgivable, that portion was supposed to be segregated for rent and utilities that you have an obligation to pay for your office. A self-employed home office does not qualify for that.
God.
That's why I'm saying 3/4 of what you're getting, which is the payroll portion, would be forgiven.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Dean, I have a question. I don't know if you know about the stimulus checks.
I know about them, yes.
So when I clicked on get my payment, or where is my payment, and it asked for, you know, the adjusted gross income, and it gave us space to put in your bank information. Did you owe taxes? Did you pay? Filled in all that information, and I keep getting a response saying the information does not match our records. Will I still get a paper check in the mail since I can't, they're saying that I'm not entering, the info doesn't match their records?
As long as you filed your tax return and you qualify for income, you should get your money. I know the website is very frustrating, just like the unemployment website is very frustrating. I've heard that a million times too, but you should get your money. They're sending it out in stages.
Okay.
So just because somebody else has gotten it 2 weeks ago doesn't mean you're not going to get it.
Okay.
I got that message I got that message for weeks, and half of ours came through yesterday.
Oh, okay, good.
So literally for like 3 weeks, I got the same exact message. And then
Yeah. It's been 3 weeks.
It's in the bank account, so I'm waiting for the other half.
Got the message, and both of my wife's and mine came in yesterday.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
I have a question from Keith in chat for Dean. Can you explain further how we can increase our chance of being 100% forgiven the PPP loan?
Okay, so is this person a realtor that's asking me the question? I'm assuming so,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Keith, if you want to unmute and ask.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Dean, it's Keith.
Hey, Keith. Do you have any employees, or is it just you?
No, it's just me, and I actually already secured the loan. I have the funds. It's in my account.
Great. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It was a process. It took about 2.5 days of just nonstop phone work, you know, all the documents and such, but it came through. The question now, though, is because I understand that 75% goes towards my salary. The remaining 25%, obviously, I'd like to increase my chances of not having to pay that back. Can you give me some solid examples?
Yeah, so solid examples are bona fide expenses that qualify for the 25%, which are specifically rent and utilities or mortgage interest. Now, a home office is problematic. They've already told us that's not a bona fide example of an expense that they're going to allow. What they're referring to in that 25% is if you have a actual physical office that you have an obligation to pay rent to, you have a lease, you have utilities for that particular location. That's what they're referring to. So a typical realtor that has a home office, works out of a room of a house, is probably, and I say probably because I can't tell you for certain yet until the vetting starts, probably that's 25% will not be forgiven. And the way the calculation works for the loan that you received is a different calculation for the actual forgiveness. And if you'll just hear me out for a second, I'll explain what I mean by that. If you take what I said before, $75,000 of profit divided by 12 times 2.5, that would have been the calculation for the actual proceeds, right? And I told you that figure was $15,000, and I'm rounding it off. The same loan for the forgiveness, the calculation is the $75,000 loan divided by 52 weeks times 8 weeks, because 8 weeks is the applicable period of the income replacement. That's $11,000. That's a $4,000 haircut. So that's the calculation for a self-employed person. And you can see that because the calculations are different, that 25% is being left out because of the fact that we don't have an actual rent that we have to pay with that money. Because I understand they're going to ask you for your lease to prove that you had an obligation to pay a rent. They're going to ask you to see your utility bills for your office. Things like this are going to happen. The forgiveness is not a foregone conclusion for that 25%.
Okay. Okay. So it's not just any operating expenses then, it's specifically geared towards a lease and whatever is utilities and such with that.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it was my understanding that any expenses for operating the business would also be included, but
No, sir. No, sir. That's not correct.
Okay. Okay.
Quick question for Keith. Keith, your loan, I'm assuming the loan you said proceeds of which you received were for the PPP?
That's correct. Yes.
Did you go to a bank with which you had a business relationship?
Yes. So I bank with Freedom Bank. They're a small local branch. They have a branch actually in Ridgewood on Route 17. They've been very, very good. I know Dean had mentioned another small bank, but Freedom, I believe if you wanted to, you could go on their website. They've been very good with communicating. And I think even if you don't have a banking relationship with them, I believe that they would be open to processing. Now, you'd have to ask them that. I already had a banking relationship, but it was not a specific business account. I have since, during this process, opened a business account with them via their instruction so that the funds could be deposited in that very specific account. But I had just a money market account. So I don't know, again, if you had to have a prior banking relationship with them, but they were very, very helpful through this whole process. I would highly recommend, at least exploring them.
Great. Thank you.
More info.
All right. Any other questions for Dean or Patrick?
Dean, so if you have already filed for unemployment, but we haven't gotten it yet, you would recommend filing for the PPP?
I would. I don't see any reason why not to.
Okay. If you somehow start getting unemployment, what do you do since you're not technically supposed to be doing both?
Well, you have to decide which one you want and then give back, or stop the process on unemployment or give back the PPP money.
Okay.
I have a question. Do you have to pay back unemployment?
No.
If you get unemployment and then they find out that you got PPP money, you very well would have to give back the unemployment.
I didn't even I didn't apply for PPP. I just applied for unemployment and then I got denied.
All right, you sound like a lot of people on this call.
So what are you supposed to do?
That's a good question. Keep trying. Why didn't you apply for PPP? What was the reason for that?
Because for a small business, because I don't have employees. I don't have an assistant.
No, that's wrong. You can apply under your, like I said a minute ago, if you're self-employed and you have a profit, you have a Schedule C, you automatically are allowable. You don't have to have employees.
Ah, I didn't.
So can you apply for both unemployment and the PPC?
You're not supposed to get both.
No, but can you apply for both?
Oh, sure. I guess you can do anything you want, but if you get the benefits for both, if I were you, I would choose very quickly and stop one of them because you're going to just hurt yourself.
No, I only applied for unemployment.
Right, and they also said about something about taking taxes out of the unemployment, so I opted to take the taxes out.
You know, I made a statement probably a couple of seminars ago, a couple, Zooms ago, where I said, you know what? If I were you, I would apply for both. The point is to get money in your hands. That's the point here, okay?
Yeah, but if you're having closings, you have to report the closings. I have closings.
For unemployment purposes. For unemployment purposes, you are basically a part-time employee. In other words, you're not working full-time anymore, but you do have to report that income that you got, so you have to explain that to them. The PPP does not have that rule. The PPP is very simple. If you are affected in a negative way by the pandemic, you are eligible for the PPP. Now, those closings that you had for prior showings that you had done prior to the pandemic would not disqualify you from that.
Right, but don't you have to pay back that money on PPP?
No, you would pay back up to 25%, which is how I explained it to the gentleman a minute ago.
Yeah, that seems also complicated. Okay.
I have a quick question, probably for Patrick. When I was applying, I did receive a commission check April 21st, and it said, how many hours did you work? I don't know.
100 hours
on a deal, so I don't know how many hours. Does anyone know? I don't know what to put down.
I'll be honest, I don't know how to answer that because I'm not an independent contractor, nor have I sold a home. I don't know how to answer that.
Just leave it blank?
You can't leave it blank.
Right, you can't leave it blank, right.
Well, think about how many hours you spent with these people before you sold the house.
And put that down?
Yes, I guess that's what we have to start tracking is how many hours are we spending to sell a house? How long is it taking us to get your house sold? How long is it taking us for running around and doing all these things? Like you track your mileage on your car. I don't, but my accountant does. Tracks the mileage on the car. Well, you get in your car, that's all business related. So how many miles are you going on your car? How many hours are you spending?
Right.
You know, let me just jump in there for a second. I told Dean, I asked him if he could come on for a few minutes, and it's coming up on a full hour. Does anybody have any questions specifically?
Yeah.
I mean, we could definitely stay and ask each other questions, and maybe Patrick can even stay. But Dean, I want to try to be respectful on his time so we could get him another time on the call. So anybody have anything specific for Dean? Otherwise, let's say goodbye.
We have one quick question. The stimulus check. Do you have to apply for that, or they automatically come?
Automatic.
Okay.
Automatic. As long as you filed your tax return, it's automatic.
Thank you.
Get that either.
Dean, can you just say that formula for the formula for the PPP? Is that the gross or the net amount? The bigger number or the smaller number that they're using?
Smaller number. The bottom line profit on your Schedule C.
Okay, and what? Can you just say that the formula you said it was 12 times?
The formula to get the loan or to forgive the loan?
To get the loan.
Okay. To get the loan, it's your bottom line profit.
Yep.
Divided by 12.
Divided by 12. Thank you.
Times 2.5.
Times 2.5. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks for your time.
All right,
You're
Dean,
welcome.
I think we had one last question from Joanne.
I have a last question.
All right. Let me see if Joanne is on to ask her question. If she's not, then I'll go to you, Debra. Joanne, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Sorry, I joined late, and I mean, the whole thing's very confusing to me. So I file it, I got the status saying it's file and it's $0, and I look up, that means it's denial. But that's for only 1 week. Does that mean I need to try to do it every week? I did not get any email about PUA, but I still get the email about instruction to claim the weekly payment thing. It doesn't go anywhere, so I'm not sure what should I do.
The emails and the information that I'm getting from them doesn't specify that it's PUA. It's just unemployment benefits. I just know that I was declined on the regular unemployment benefits, and now what's following is the PUA. I don't think any of the stuff, I don't have it in front of me, but I don't think any of it actually says PUA on it unless you go on the website and unless you call and then hit the prompt for the PUA. That's when they say you have to do it online.
Oh, so wait. So you are saying, because it only say from this week, from like say, this week. So just ignore that. Don't bother to try to do another week and just go straight to file PUA.
And somebody jump in if I'm wrong, but did you get declined or denied from the regular unemployment benefits?
It doesn't say denial, but from my reading, I checked the status and it say it's filed, and then the dollar amount is 0. So I was reading from the site, it says that means actually it's denied.
That means it's denied. So just continue with the steps that follow. You might I got a Bank of America debit card kind of out of the blue. I wasn't really expecting it. And then I got emails from the Department of Labor, and then I started getting letters. So I think I've gotten 2 letters so far. I just keep trying.
When you say letter, you mean the
You know
real
what, can I jump in
letter?
1 second? I'm sorry, because again, Dean, I only asked him for a few minutes and it's now over an hour. We can keep this open for as long as we want to talk amongst ourselves, but if it's not a question, does anybody have something for Dean, or can we let Dean go? Something specific?
Yes, I do. I have a question, Al. For the stimulus check, you only had to file your 2018 tax, not 2019, correct?
They're giving out the stimulus checks to the 19 filers first, and then my information is they're giving out 2018 people later.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right, anything else for Dean? Definitely let's stay on. And Karen, thank you so much for your unemployment expert here. I really appreciate it. Anything else for Dean? Going once, going twice? Thanks so much, Dean. I really appreciate you staying.
You're welcome, guys. I wish everybody good luck.
I asked Dean about an hour before this call started, or 2 hours before.
I'm gonna cut it.
Jumped on. So thanks so much, Dean.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Good luck, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you,
All right,
Dean.
I'm sorry, Joanne, you can go back to
You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you.
to Karen. Carry on with.
I
Karen,
usually
helping
do ask Elise anything at 6, so I don't mind postponing that to another day. I know that you guys, this is a hot topic, so I don't mind sitting and moderating. But if you guys have questions, please raise your hand and speak, rather than it's kind of hard for me to keep up with the chat.
Joanne, were you done with your question?
No, I'm sorry. I'm like really confused. So what do I do? So like, because the one it just say is like for the certain week. So just from that point on, just forget about it, right? Just go straight to the PUA.
I don't know what you mean. I'm not really understanding what you mean by go straight to the PUA.
So I did the traditional unemployment filing online.
Yes.
And then I kept on getting email about like how to claim,
Could I interject real quick? Because I think I can probably answer. So it sounds like you said you filed, or you already did traditional unemployment. How long ago was that?
I think that was April 4th. I actually did email to you. I don't know if you remember last week.
Okay. So if you already filed and you have proof of it, you don't need to do anything further. What the Department of Labor started doing was going from the first applicants, going from oldest to most recent, reaching out to everybody to give them instructions on how to certify. So as long as you filed already and they have your information, you don't need to do anything further. What they're going to send you next is instructions on how to certify weekly, which will answer those 7 questions that they're sending to you now.
Well, I kept on getting email about how to answer the question. I got a few already. But
right, and I'm getting them too.
So you're saying, but I can still do nothing there, right? So just wait.
They're going to send you specific instructions on saying this is your information for certifying weekly.
But that's for the traditional one or for the PUA?
That's for the PUA.
So don't have to do anything for PUA.
You don't have to do anything else. As long as you applied for regular unemployment, they have you on file and they'll reach out to you with the next steps.
Okay, because I already have the credit card, but has nothing there.
Right. So that means you opted, when you're filing, you can either put in your direct deposit info or you can opt out of that and they send you a Bank of America debit card with nothing on it.
So I don't have
That's
to
just
do
part
anything.
of the process.
So I don't
Correct.
have to
Yeah,
do
just be on the
anything
lookout
with
for
the
anything
card.
from the Department of Labor. No, nothing to
So
do with
that
the
would
card.
be, will that be in the email or the regular mail?
It sounds like it's going to be coming in regular mail, that form that has the instructions on how to certify weekly next.
Oh, okay. Great, great,
Okay.
great. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Anything else? Anybody else have a question?
Actually, I'm sorry, I missed the PPP part. So we can also apply for PPP?
No, you're only going to get one or the other. You can't get both.
So that means I'm better off sit there and wait for my PUA to be processed, right?
Depends on, that's your option, I think.
Okay. Okay.
And just like I said in chat, we are recording this and we'll post this on the BCP YouTube later, and it'll also be available in the Facebook group. So if you want to rewatch the beginning, we talked a lot about some of that. Joanne.
Thank you so much.
Anything else? Anybody else have a question?
I don't. I'm good. Anyone else? I guess we can wrap it up. So are we transitioning over to Ask Elise? What goes on in Ask Elise? No, stay for
Command
that.
questions, tech questions.
Command question. Anybody have any command questions? And stay on for Ask Elise.
Yeah, you
Thanks
guys.
everybody for your help. And again, I apologize. We couldn't answer some of the questions. We'll try to get somebody who's more an expert on unemployment and have them on ASAP. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Am I the only one that's on, and can you hear me now?
Yes, you do. You sound much better.
I know
Oh,
my microphone-
Elise!
My microphone is actually working. I see in
I
the
did.
corner here that it's going up and down with green. So I guess that means that my microphone is having issues when we're on by ourselves.
Guys, I'm going to end this and restart just so that the recording doesn't have, that people are watching isn't like half Ask Al and then half me. So if you guys want to just join right back using the same link, I'm going to restart.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.